First of all, thank you very much for having time for this interview.
Thank you very much, first, for inviting me.
You have been working in Uzbekistan since 2022. Wide-ranging reforms has been in Uzbekistan. What are the significant achievements from your perspective?
Yes, I arrived in Uzbekistan in 2022, but I've been traveling to Uzbekistan since 2007. And then, so I came as a tourist, and then a few times. Because I was working in Afghanistan, it was close by. I came a few times. When I arrived in 2022, it was a completely different country. So I already felt the reform the minute I arrived. And then I have seen in the areas of UNESCO's work, specifically the reforms in education, from a major increase in access in preschool education up to public education, the change of structures in public educations, and then vocational training to higher education, also access to higher education for students, as well as to culture, protection of cultural heritage, but not only the protection of cultural heritage, but the promotion of Uzbekistan's cultural heritage, tangible and intangible. UNESCO, together with UNESCO, Uzbekistan has advanced a lot for the protection, but there are major works done in the promotion of cultural heritage and culture of Uzbekistan through Art and Culture Foundation, for example. And then in other areas such as science, communication and information, we work with the government on access to information, freedom of expression. So the reform gives you hope, constant hope, for things to change for better. And it has. It is a privilege for UNESCO to work with Uzbekistan, and we feel to be a privileged partner also.
Yes, just you mentioned about cultural heritage. The Uzbekistan is paying attention preservation of the cultural heritage, and a lot of work has been done in this area.
I think there's been major improvement for planning, which is an area which is very important for protection of cultural heritage of Uzbekistan, because 4 of major World Heritage sites of Uzbekistan are historical cities, it means that they're not only a monument, they're cities where people live. It needs development. It needs major urban planning. People need roads, people need water, electricity, sewage systems. So it's not only about cultural heritage, it's about the people who live there too. So this, the special attention of the government to these historic cities, Samarkand, Bukhara, Shahrisabz and Khiva, it's been great. I think Uzbekistan has always been very successful in protection of its intangible heritage. Dance, music, handicraft. So that area continued as it well.
It's not just a local or just related to one country, it's global. What do you say about the Uzbekistan's policy, strengthening policy?
Uzbekistan's regional cooperation, this is something that is respected, appreciated by all its neighbors. We remember, all of us, the Central Asia of 2 decades ago. I think Uzbekistan is a champion of regional cooperation, and be it in the relationship with Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan. So it's bringing countries together, and I think one of the areas where the country relies on to bring Central Asian countries together is through shared heritage and shared identity of Central Asia. So I think this is something that no one will debate the role of Uzbekistan in improving of regional cooperation. And I think now with the organization of UNESCO's General Conference in Samarkand, Uzbekistan is taking this diplomacy to a whole new level.
Yes, this is a big event for us, so we will back to this topic again. How would you assess the process, the current cooperation, especially in the term of the political dialogue?
Between regional...
Between Uzbekistan and UNESCO.
Yes, as you mentioned, it has only improved since the beginning of establishment of UNESCO. But of course, it has the pace has been much faster, accelerated since President Mirziyoyev took office. First, with President's trip to France and meeting UNESCO's Director General. Then UNESCO's Director General traveled to Uzbekistan in 2019. Then in 2022, actually, it's one of the few countries that our Director General traveled twice during her mandate. And with every visit, with every discussion, every time they met, there were major initiatives that was launched. For example, 2022, Uzbekistan hosted the Global Conference on Early Childhood Care and Education, which happens every 10 years, for example. So, and these are all initiatives that were launched, for example, on discussions either in 2018, 2019, and Uzbekistan is actively moving towards a more important role, requested Uzbekistan to establish a regional center for early childhood care and education, which we very much hope that will be announced during the General Conference. Uzbekistan established an international award, Al-Biruni Award for AI, ethics of AI and artificial intelligence. So Uzbekistan is using it's in the areas of expertise of UNESCO, such as culture, education, social science, social and human science, to actually expand regional and international cooperation. And it's doing it very successfully because there is presidential attention to it.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And that you mentioned about education, which is the central priority of the organization and also in Uzbekistan. So what other joint projects are going on?
Actually, the education is also our largest program financially in Uzbekistan, UNESCO Office in Uzbekistan. We do work with education, all education entities, from preschool to higher education to vocational training. So we have this very special role, UNESCO, as the educational agency of the United Nations. We have an overview of the entire education sector. UNESCO's focus in Uzbekistan is teachers' education. So we have over $20 million ongoing on teachers' education. And actually, Uzbekistan itself is one of our donors. Actually, the biggest, I think, with the funding of Échange, I don't know if the restitution fund, for example, we educate and train the teachers in several areas, from ICT and AI to STEM areas, science, technology, mathematics, and that's from both pre-service education to in-service education. We also do renovate and equip teacher training centers, centers of pedagogical excellence. We have just completed the renovation and equipping of Bukhara teacher training centers, as well as Termez. We're working in Namangan, and there will be other teacher training centers that we will equip with modern technologies, as well as modern STEM labs, science lab. So this is our main focus and priority, and actually it is also a government's major priority in education, teachers, because other than school construction of new schools, and the textbooks and curriculums, and the teachers. Teachers are the most important in-school factors for improving of the quality education. That's why we have had several new presidential decrees in the past 2 years for profession, for teachers' profession, for the development of teachers' profession, and UNESCO is working with the government to implement those presidential decrees. We are very proud.
Yes, thank you. That you mentioned about IT, which is the most important for today's life. Yes. And if we talk about this, what kind of joint projects are going on, or what we are going to plan? And as if I'm not mistaken about the Beruni, the award is also going to be submitted the first time.
Yes, ICT and AI for teachers. This is an area exactly that you can't ignore in today's world. The award for ethics of artificial intelligence is an award related to our social human sciences, because it's the ethics of how we use AI is as important as development of AI itself.
The most important part of our conversation, which is soon is going to be in Samarkand. Samarkand is hosting 43rd of the session. The most important thing, like we proud, it's going to be for the first time outside of Paris. So what is the importance of this decision?
The most important part of it, I think, for UNESCO is to think out of the box and do it out of Paris. Because why Paris? There's nothing in UNESCO's constitution that stops UNESCO General Conference to be organized outside Paris. But no other country in 40 years dared to dream.
But here, why Uzbekistan? There were a lot of countries.
Because Uzbekistan dared to dream, to suggest that they can do it. So Uzbekistan brought this proposal to the UNESCO's General Conference 2 years ago. And they said, we're ready to host this. And of course, that destabilized everyone, because it's something, as you mentioned, we say it's the first time in 40 years, but it's the second time in history anyway. So 40 years ago, it wasn't this word. 40 years ago, none of these jobs even done with computers. You see, it was just like a plane of typewriting machines from Paris, and it was also in Europe, in Sofia. So Uzbekistan suggested, put forward, and of course member states questioned. They had questions for Uzbekistan. Are you sure you can do it? Are you sure that do you have venues big enough? Are you sure that you have enough hotels? For all these guests, international guests coming, and it seemed, to be honest, even for us, it seemed very difficult at the beginning, because there were so many questions and so many requirements. Uzbekistan fulfilled all of them. But as I mentioned at the beginning, I think the most important part was dare to dream big, and that Uzbekistan could do that. And so we're very excited.
It's very touching, your words. I feel that. Okay. And this will be logical continuing of this question. What importance does it hold, having this general conference in Samarkand for the organization?
Yes, that's very symbolic, Samarkand, because it's the crossroads of cultures. It is the spirit of Samarkand is the spirit of UNESCO. Is the spirit of what we stand for, is the spirit of what the basic text of the organization stands for. That for centuries, this city has been the crossroads of culture. For centuries, this city has been where it brought people together from east to west. So it's, no one could question the venue itself, or no one would say why Samarkand, because it seemed very obvious choice, and I'm very happy that the government also suggested Samarkand. Everyone knows, and in the memory of the world, who doesn't know Central Asia and who doesn't know Uzbekistan, everyone knows Samarkand. It's a poetic, mystic city And I'm sure all the guests are also looking forward to come to Samarkand. So symbolically, Samarkand was the obvious choice for Uzbekistan, and of course it has also the infrastructure for it, and the government in the past organized major conferences in Samarkand. So, it is actually it's a beautiful result of both dreaming and practical planning and logistical availability. All of it went together. So yeah, as I mentioned, everyone questioned why, like at the beginning, or out of Paris.
That's normal.
Yes, but no one questioned why Samarkand. That was the obvious choice. Organizing UNESCO General Conference in Samarkand will not be the end result of this cultural diplomacy. It will be the beginning. It will be a beginning. It will bring people from across the world, all UNESCO's member states, to Samarkand, and it will be an opportunity to use this as a base for future cultural diplomacy work that Uzbekistan is doing. It is very important. As I mentioned, Uzbekistan has been doing this great regional work, great work for regional cooperation and bringing countries together, and successfully has done so. Following the General Conference in Samarkand, Uzbekistan will and can scale up what it's doing regionally to a global level.
Mm-hmm. And how it can influence to Central Asia, wider if you look?
I think all countries of Central Asia actually are proud of this. Maybe they feel competition, but eventually they're proud that. And I'm not saying it myself. I listen to their speeches, member states at the UNESCO General Conference and at the UNESCO's Executive Board. They're all very proud of organizing General Conference in Samarkand, because at the end of the day, it is in a city in Central Asia. And I think it's also a legacy of Samarkand, not only for Uzbekistan, for the whole region. Samarkand was known for the cultural capital of the region. You know, it's not something that anyone would question. So it's very important. But as I mentioned, the result will be more global than regional, because this regional work has been going on for a few years now. Shanghai Cooperation in Samarkand, or Uzbekistan hosted Turkic countries, summit, hosted many regional summits. So it had actually also hosted like the General Assembly of the UNWTO, the World Tourism Organization also. But this is a whole new scale.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and for all the information that you give. And we are happy to see you in our studio.
Thank you very much.